Oh, man. Woo! Pounding the Meat, we are live. I am Vinny Vegas. Thank you for being here tonight. We have a big guest for you tonight. I'm a fan, as you can see. It's no secrets. Vincent is here with us tonight to talk all things Child's Play and a little bit more. Not just the Child's Play movies, there is more. But dude, I am so thrilled to have him here. I'm pumped, and we're gonna have a good night tonight. Before we get things started, we do have shirts available, as you guys know. GetMyMeat.com. There are all the shirts, but we're shifting away from pro wrestling tees, and we're going in-house. And this is just a little preview of what the shirts are going to look like. This is to celebrate this month of October with Pounding the Meat. Check it out. We got the Chucky logo. We got the Pounding the Meat logo here, all sliced up. And it will be available soon. This is glow in the dark. So at nighttime, this shit shines. Trust me, it shines. All right, we're done with that. We're done with that. Yo. What's good, Ethan? What up, baby? Let's do this. Let's pound some meat, man. For real. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the one, the only, motherfucking Vincent. Yes. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I'm going to lose my mind, bro.
Chucky insisted on him making the first appearance. Years later, he's still so Hollywood.
Dude, I am going to lose my mind. I told you when I first saw you on here, I was like, I'm not that much of a fan, you know. And the one fucking doll.
No, you're just surrounded by Chucky. You have more Chucky dolls than I do. That doesn't say much.
Yo, and then I saw yours, and I was willing to give all this away for the one.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen.
But let's put it in some perspective here, Vinny Vegas.
Yes.
It took me 4 films and 30 years to get that doll. So
that's it? That's all it took?
I
think so.
Yeah. When we made Cult of Chucky, one of the first things I said to Don was, all right, I need a doll now. I mean, I wanted a doll since I was 6 years old. How did you
not have a doll already, man?
I mean, people have been saying that to my whole life, but saying that to me for my whole life. But you just got to think about it for a split second, which is there are puppeteers, producers, directors, line producers, executive producers, people that invested a bunch of money into that film. Giving that one of those dolls to a 6-year-old actor was never up for consideration.
You were the fucking star, though. I don't care. I don't care who produced it. You were the star. All right?
I was the star of part 2. I'll take that.
So let's start with this. Okay.
All right.
Child's Play is one of the biggest horror films of all time. We know that. And we got Mr. Old School saying, hey, Vinny. Hi, Alex. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. Thank you, Mr. Old School. Appreciate it. We're going to go through a little bit of those films with you. Okay.
Okay.
And then we're gonna dive into something else that you're doing at the moment, but we'll get to that.
We'll talk about all facets of my life.
Yes,
in the next hour. Yeah.
And I wanted to just first and foremost thank you for being here. I appreciate your time.
Sure.
And it's an honor.
I'm COVID chubby, so I haven't been doing many broadcasts. But hey, we all are.
Listen, man, we're just gonna have a fun night tonight and
Except
learn some
you,
things.
Vinny Vegas. So let's get
Alex
serious.
Vincent. Yes,
Serious. Vinny Vegas. Who's gonna win the basketball game tonight?
Oh,
Lakers. I mean,
listen,
Vinny
man.
Vegas. You must have a pick for me.
Listen, man, I'm going with the Lakers, bro.
They're laying 10.
And the reason why I'm going with the Lakers is because a lot of the people in this room right now are Lakers fans, and I want them to keep watching my show. All right, so I'm going with the Lakers on that one.
By 10 or more.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'll go with that.
I mean, they crushed game one. I expected Miami to show up better than that, but that's not what happened.
You got one of the biggest Lakers fans right here, Eddie Williams.
And by the way, if I bet on the game, I'm betting $25. So don't let's not get carried away with thoughts of what I mean by that. But
we can bet the Chucky doll, maybe.
Vegas, I gotta ask for your pick.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, Vegas says it all, because I'm just the man.
You live in Vegas?
Stuff. No, I live. Guess where I live.
We're gonna start this by me interviewing you. By the way,
I like it.
I have my own podcast, so I'm used to it.
Take a guess.
Where you live?
Yes. What state do I live in? You're very familiar.
All right, let me ask you a question. Did you grow up in the state that you live in?
Yes, my whole life.
Oh, then you sound like Jersey to me.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Jersey boy, man. All day.
Whereabouts?
South Jersey. I don't know if you're Cumberland County. I know where Newark is.
What town?
It's very close. Vineland.
I know Vineland. I used to date a girl from Atco.
Dude.
Which is right over there. Yeah. I'm from North Jersey, which is kind of a different state entirely, as you know.
It is. It absolutely
is. Dividing lines somewhere down the turnpike where we split, and you guys are all Philly and we're all New York City.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, great. At least you know what a good bagel is.
I actually work a lot in North Jersey in my other job, and we do a lot of work up there. And man, they got hit with COVID bad, bro. Bad.
Well, Bergen County, where I grew up, is one of the densest populated counties in the whole country. So, I mean, that's inevitable.
Yeah, and it's trickling down here, but we're not hit in the South as much as North got hit because of New York and all that kind of stuff. But we're gonna make it through it. We're gonna make it through.
Yeah. I mean, the president's in the hospital, but you guys are gonna be fine.
We will be fine. We're here. We're good. And here's the thing: Child's Play, 1988.
Yes.
1988. You were 5 or 6.
6.
6 years old.
Well, in 88, I was 7, but when we made the movie in
87,
fall of 87, I'm pretty sure, and I was 6.
Yeah. 6 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
First off, when did you start, dipping into acting here? I mean, you're 6, dude.
When I was like 5. Yeah.
5. So you just started.
Yeah, I've told the story many, many times, but I had a family friend, girl named Sarah Maylett, who did commercials. And if my memory is correct, she did one of those "This is your brain on drugs" commercial in the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what I saw her on TV. But she was someone I knew. I'm a 5-year-old. She lives on my block. I know her in person, and I saw her on the television.
Okay.
And to me, that just kind of made me think, I want to do that. I want to be on TV. I was rather precocious. I was smart. I had a great memory. I was, one of those prodigy indigo type of minds as a young person.
Right.
Which I could have exploited, but instead I decided to intentionally dull myself out. But never mind. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, I was a really bright kid. I was way smarter at 6 than I am at 39.
Yeah, you know what? And that's okay.
So I had a couple of the attributes that would lend itself well to that business, which is I was not shy. I was eager to perform and make the people around me excited or amused or entertained. By that, I had an exceptional memory, which I still do. At least my short-term memory, the memories of my life are starting to fade.
Yeah.
But I can read couple pages of dialogue twice and know it all. You know,
Wow.
I learned a little Nine Inch Nails cover song today. I listened to it 3 or 4 times, and I can get through it all the way for 4
So
minutes.
you can play by ear as well, like.
No. I very detailed watch what
Okay.
the guy on YouTube is doing with his hands, or those synesthesia, maybe is how it's pronounced, videos.
Okay.
I guess it's an app that breaks down the notes with like that visual
Yeah.
thing of the notes coming down and hitting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw a piano cover like that, but I could watch that. But I mean, it's still 3 or 4 minutes of changes and different things. And even now, you know, a 39-year-old, 20-year stoner kind of guy, I can still remember those things pretty well. Like I can get to the beginning and end of stuff. I'm not an exceptional piano player, but
Right.
my memory and my ear gets me through it. I do have a great ear for music. I always have. But I'm not an instrumentalist because when I was a kid, I was auditioning when everybody who plays instruments these days were practicing their instrument.
You were doing you were in Child's Play, bro. Come on. You know, like, dude, that's great. That's awesome.
I wish I got great at the guitar. I think that would feel better right now. But
my dad's a guitar player, you know, very good at it, and we have a lot of music in our family as well. So
how many viewers do we have? Do we know?
Right now we are at
thing and your thing.
Right now we're live viewers. We are at 70 live viewers.
70
live viewers.
Well, those who have something to like, go ahead and like.
So here's the thing. Okay. It's 88.
It's 88.
88. The film's out.
Right.
The budget of the film was $9 million.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
Made $44 million at the box office. So it was a success. Okay. What was that like coming off this movie? You're 6 or 7 at the time.
I wish they gave a 6-year-old like points or whatever that stuff means. I wish I made some of that $44 million. But I very much so did not. Let me tell you that. It was incredible. I mean, I was 7 years old. I was in a movie that was a popular film. It was at the Cineplex Odeon premiering. My grandfather rented out a full theater, and we had a big premiere for friends and family and neighbors and people in my community. I wore a tux to it. It was a big deal. It was super fun, exciting, something to be proud of. I was happy with how it came out. It was my first feature film. So, and not only was it my first feature film, but it was a feature film where we had to convincingly illustrate a inanimate doll come to life, killing people and being intimidating in the process. So while we were making it, the number one answer of my question of my life was if, the movie gave me nightmares or if I was afraid. Nothing like that at all. I mean, and it couldn't be for anyone. We didn't see what Chucky looks like on screen at that point. We didn't know. It did not look real in real life. So we were trying to sell that and make it look real. And for most actors, especially, no-name feature first film actors, children actors at that, they don't show you the dailies. They don't show you the next day what you did the day before. I didn't see anything on film until that premiere.
So you didn't see any part of
No.
this?
The first time I ever saw Chucky come to life on film was with everyone else at the premiere. Like,
wow.
I was 6. They're not like inviting me into editing sessions.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, the whole thing was just amazing, just to see this doll come to life, and then to see it actually scare people, and to see that it's a big deal, and then to get called for a sequel. It was an incredibly exciting time in my life that I wish I remembered more than I do.
No, well, the thing is, when you went to see it, okay, you're in the theater, you're watching this, or you're at the premiere, and you're watching this now. Did the doll scare you at that point? Even though you knew it was fake, you filmed it, did it scare you at all? Did you jump
Never.
scare?
No, of course not.
No? Okay.
No.
Um, can you?
I had the entire script memorized, all my lines, all everybody else's
Oh
lines,
wow.
to the
Okay.
point where if someone ad-libbed a little bit, I'd be like, no, that's not how the line goes. And they'd have to be like, explain ad-libbing to me. And then they made revisions, which was devastating to me because all of a sudden a whole bunch of different colored pages are coming and they don't say what I memorized. I mean, I basically taught myself to read on the Child's Play 1 script and memorized every word of it.
Sound like you took it really seriously at that age.
Of course, yeah.
And now, can you tell the story? I mean, I've heard it, but I don't think a lot of people here have. Can you tell the story of how they chose you to play this role? I think it's pretty funny. It's fascinating how they picked you out of everybody else.
Sure. I'm only smoking half a joint with you guys right now because I didn't want to smoke cigarettes, which I do, unfortunately, still, and I didn't think that would be right. So I figured weed is more acceptable than cigarettes these days by far.
Absolutely.
And just to give an example of that, I smoked a joint with Chucky and Cult of Chucky, which was partially my idea, something I came up with Don. And I thought that Andy should still be a cigarette smoker because of the puff of Kyle's cigarette that he took in Child's Play 2.
Yes.
And he's had a hard life. I just thought it made sense that he would be a cigarette smoker. And Universal, God bless them, was more accepting of it being a joint than a cigarette.
Really?
Yes. And I think that's great because
that's dope, though,
I suggested a cigarette because I thought he'd never go for a joint. But if I thought that was on the table, that would have been my first suggestion.
Joint was first. And of course, you get to use the studio funds to provide the prop, right? For that part of the film.
Well, it wasn't real weed, but yeah.
Whatever.
We were in Canada. It was before. Like, I'm a medical patient in Florida, but I think it was still illegal in Canada at the time, which I don't think it is now, actually.
I mean, it's so hard to keep track of everybody, legal, not legal. I mean, it seems like it's going to...
I got distracted. What was your question?
Here's the thing. How did they pick you out of everybody else? First of all, how many people were there trying out for this role?
I don't really know. But a lot. They auditioned in New York and LA. So every kid that fit the description, I'm sure, went out for it. I mean, I could tell you the story, which you're probably alluding to, that you've heard of how I got the job once it was me against like two other kids.
Yes.
Like final audition. Up until that, I think I was prepared. My memory was on point, and let's face it, I was fucking adorable.
Oh yeah, cute little kid.
I don't feel as confident.
Excuse me, read that comment by the way.
But looking at myself as a 6-year-old, I was a really cute kid. Weed is legal in Canada.
There you go. You're good.
Awesome. That'll be good if I happen to be involved with the TV series shooting in Canada, which I don't know if I am. That wasn't like a hint. Honestly, people are excited about it, which is awesome. But COVID really pushed it back. We don't know. I don't really know anything that's happening. Haven't read a script. Don't really know shit yet. But I'm hoping I'm involved. We'll see. I don't want Andy's story to end in that asylum. But so when I got to LA, they flew me out to audition against two other kids. And my mother was in the room with me for the audition, which even as a 6-year-old actor in New York City, that was not the way it happened. Like, I would sign in, she'd sit there with me, I'd go in for the audition. I don't think they want a bunch of stage mothers in the audition rooms back then. I don't know how it's done now. Maybe there's extra abundance of caution. I don't know. But so it was rare that she was in the room with me, which made me a little nervous to begin with, I recall.
Sure.
But also, we did the line, Aunt Maggie is a real bitch and got what she deserved, which I had never swore in front of my mother at that point. Now I do it all the time. But at that time, I never had. I was 6. And I got so uncomfortable about saying bitch in front of her that when we got to that line, I froze up and I said, I don't remember the lines. And she said, they said, oh, he knew all the lines. Let's just start over. And I got to it and I froze up again. I got up and I ran out of the room and I locked myself in the bathroom. And my mother came in. What's wrong? I said, I can't say that word in front of you. And she went and told them that. And I had genuinely convinced them that I didn't know the material. So when they heard that, they were like, oh, this kid fooled us. I guess he can act. And I think That and my cuteness got me through, I guess.
And look what happened. You did
Yeah.
some good acting as a child, and you got
Yeah.
into a
Now I'm
blockbuster film.
now I'm not as cute, and I swear in front of my mother all the time. Yeah.
What was it like working with Catherine Hicks? Was it difficult to form that mother-son bond with her?
No, it wasn't difficult, but it was intentionally established. Like,
Right.
she had never played a mother before, which is ironic since she went on to be, TV's mom in
Yeah.
Seventh Heaven. But she had never played a mother. She wasn't a mother. She didn't really know
Wow.
kids that well. She was a little jealous of me that I had more lines than her. She thought she was the lead in this film, and now this 6-year-old has all the lines. So she
In his
was
debut film.
But she was dead set on bonding with me for the film to make it feel more real. So we did. We had a really close friendship in the beginning during all the rehearsals, read through, script reading things, and she took me out to lunch and stuff often, and we'd talk. And my acting coach, Margaret, I think, was the one who found a little bead on the floor in the bathroom in some women's room on the set of Child's Play 1 before we started filming. And it was like a vortex of color, kind of clear thing. A cheap nothing, but wasn't a real stone or anything. But she gave it to Catherine and gave her the idea to give it to me and tell me that it's a magic ball of trust or something. And that if I have it, we'll always be bonded together, stuff like that. Something to that effect.
Okay.
And she gave it to me, and it did work. Like, I did feel, closer to her because of this. And that really helped us just feel natural together. And 34 years later, whatever it is, we're still very close. So
I was just going to ask you, she's still your movie mom,
She's absolutely my movie mom, and I know if I ever needed anything in the world, I could go to her. We have a great connection.
That's awesome.
We talk a few times a year, unlike Christine and I, who talk almost every day. She's become like my sister in real life. Like, we talk constantly. We're like,
that's awesome. She seems like a dope person just in general. You can just read people on screen and you could tell that they're not acting, they're just being themselves. She seems like she's really, really cool.
Well, and her social media is brutally honest.
Yeah.
She puts herself out as she is for everyone, and she's not shy about her thoughts or her opinions. And I respect that a hell of a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And we just laugh a lot together. We just have a really, really good friendship.
Now, we'll get to Child's Play 2, but did that start at the movie, or did you know her prior to the film?
No, I didn't know her before the film, and it was the experience of the film, a many-year gap, and then meeting at a horror convention and connecting on social media.
Cool.
For the past, I don't know, 8 years, maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, with the first Child's Play, I always wondered this. When they were filming, of course, Brad does the voice of Chucky.
Yes.
Now, was he there on set and had to scream the lines out to you guys, or how did that work?
That would have made our work even easier. But we were fortunate to have the case be that he did all of his vocals first. So everything was recorded already.
Oh, okay.
Playback. So instead of what many would think, I guess, that they dubbed dialogue to the doll's mouth and stuff, it worked the opposite. They moved the doll's mouth to the dialogue.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So it wasn't done. It wasn't done in post. It was done.
It's like post-production beforehand. Yeah. Pre-production.
I would have never thought they did that
beforehand. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. But was he there on set at all, like while you were filming, or
he was there for read-throughs in the beginning? I did meet him, I think, both films, but no, he was not there. Nope.
Okay.
And I've done a lot of conventions with Brad, and if you ever met him, he's kind of an introverted person. He's very kind, but he's kind of like me and a little shy and like I think all the attention is peculiar for him. Maybe I'm not. I just think he's an introverted guy.
Mhm.
So
Well,
I don't.
many actors are,
Sure, and it makes sense. He's a brilliant actor,
Yeah.
and that comes from whatever choices in life lead you to that capability. But my relationship with him is very, very cordial. Awesome. What's up, dude? He said, we get along very, very well. But I don't know Brad that well, and quite frankly, I don't want to.
Mhm.
If I'm gonna ever play Andy again,
Yeah.
I like that his voice is intimidating to me.
Yeah.
I like that he's intimidating to me.
So you like to keep
So-
that distance on purpose,
yeah.
for the art.
I'm not a professional enough actor to do method things like that. But when it comes to Brad, he is a very to himself kind of guy, and I really appreciate that from my perspective.
Nice.
And like Christine, if we were lucky enough to be involved together in a future installment of the film, if we worked together, it would just feel like brother and sister.
Yeah.
And that will make that better. And the fact that I'm not that close to Brad will make this better too,
Yes, exactly. Don Mancini.
Yes.
Do you still
Great
keep in
guy,
touch
good
with
friend.
him? And yeah.
Absolutely fantastic human being. And really dear friend. I mean, the whole reason, besides the fact that I think the storyline maybe lended itself to Andy making a reappearance in it, the fact that we were very close friends had a lot to do with the fact that he brought me back for Curse and Cult.
Right.
I think he got to know me as a person and had some confidence in trying to sell to a studio the idea of using an actor that hasn't been on an audition since 1993.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think knowing me gave him enough faith in me to let me do that. And yeah, I'm always indebted to him and very, very fond of him.
That's great.
Yeah.
Child's Play 2.
All right. Yeah.
My favorite.
It's funny, Child's Play 2, because
favorite,
this doll.
My favorite.
This doll. Thank you. This doll's from Cult of Chucky, but Tony Gardner from Alterian, who did the last few films, he intentionally made the Cult of Chucky doll to look similar to the Child's Play 2 doll.
Right.
So maybe that's why you like my
Child's
so
Play.
much.
I have the Child's Play 2 right here. This is by the Trick or Treat Studios gang.
Yes, the Trick or Treat Studios one is very
good. They did a really good job on it. And they just released, of course, the Seed of Chucky replica dolls. Well, fantastic job.
Which you have as well. So the part 2 is your favorite of the series.
My absolute favorite.
Okay.
Absolute favorite.
Why?
Felt. Here's why. I always tell this to people. They always ask, why 2? It just felt more colorful and fun, and had a slight comedic side.
How old were you when you saw it?
Man, we're going back. I watched it with my grandmother. May she rest in peace. That was our favorite movie watching together. Believe it or not, she loved Chucky. She always felt bad for Chucky. Man, I had to have been.
If she only knew Charles's backstory.
Yeah, she didn't care.
Yeah,
she didn't care. I could have murdered someone, and she'd be like, "No, he's innocent. That's my baby." 7 or 8 years old is when I first saw Child's Play 2, and ever since.
The fact that it was colorful and stuff probably helped catch your attention at that age too.
Yeah.
And you had seen the first one first?
I had seen the first one first.
So
and the cover always got me as well, with the Jack in the Box and the scissors. It just looked fun.
The marketing of part 2 was awesome to begin with, and people were excited about it. For me, I was a little older, a little more aware of the weight of responsibility of something like that. Like, I remember them telling me that I was first billing in it before we shot it, which means my name comes up first.
Yes.
You read the script, I'm in almost every scene. I knew that the first was successful and that the weight of the second one being successful was almost entirely on me.
Absolutely.
So, I had a little more anxiety about it. As at 6, it was just like a fun thing to do.
Right.
I knew what I had to do, but it was fun. The second one was super fun because Christine was there and Don, and it was at Universal Studios, and I had amazing experiences around the park and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had lunch with Michael J. Fox in his trailer on the set of Back to the Future 3.
Come on, man. Okay.
Yeah, I got to sit in the DeLorean and walk through the set
Wow.
in my break. I got to go on the tram ride for free on the second half, which was after King Kong, which scared the shit out of me still at that age. So yeah, it was great. I mean,
so you even had more fun, man.
it was super fun. And the factory stuff was all super fun. And Christine would crack up after every cut because of how silly what we were doing really was.
Yeah.
So the experience was great. But I also did take on a bit of the weight of this character now. Now I had been in acting for 3.5 years. I kind of understood, what it meant to really portray a character, especially again,
Right.
when people already expected a character. And now, I was older in a sense. I was trying to capture what I did when I was 6, which, at 8, 6 is already a bit of a blur,
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I just knew that Andy had been through some really serious shit. And the closest thing in his life was his parents. His father had died. His mother was locked up because no one believes what I know to be true.
Mm-hmm.
So I just really thought of it as this kid's really, really damaged.
Yeah.
And I had a good acting coach that helped me with that. So the way I see the progression of Andy through even the 4 films is kind of a flattening of personality and emotion and capability to function with what he's seen and what he knows. Andy in Child's Play 2 was intentionally flat. He wants to be a happy kid, but he doesn't really see that in the cards for him.
You can tell that too, because first of all, like you said, his mom's locked up, right?
Yeah.
So now, and he's been through all this shit, and you could tell by the way you portrayed him that you were definitely traumatized.
Yeah. Yeah. But with a desire for things to get better.
There was still hope. Yeah.
But when they don't, and I mean, I've only watched the film a few times in the last 10 years, and that's mostly if I'm at a screening or something where it's on. Maybe twice in the last 10 years I've watched it. But I know that Andy had to face these issues that he had in life, and he was worried about it and afraid, and he was afraid that things would turn to shit again. And when they did, he really wasn't that surprised.
Yeah.
And
the thing is, at the end or towards the end, you can see that. Well, I wouldn't say towards the end. Towards the middle, you could see that he's this doll. He didn't believe anybody when they're saying this doll is not alive. And the way you acted and the way you portrayed yourself, he didn't trust anybody or anything, And that goes to show you that you understood that you had to feel the emotion of the character at such a young age and relive the history of the first movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I felt about it. And also I remember discussing with my acting coach and taking note of the fact that to everyone else, or to the few people that have seen him come to life and kill people, this is a killer doll. They don't know. They wouldn't know if it's an alien or they wouldn't know what it was,
Right.
But Andy is kind of the only person until Tiffany that actually connects with him, as we can assume, a lot more than is ever shown on screen.
Yeah.
This is a doll that's been manipulating and talking to and preying on this child for a long time.
Yep.
So I think I think having met Brad in person, and then after the first film and seeing who Charles Lee Ray was in the beginning of the
Mhm.
film,
Mhm.
I took with me into seeing that person in the doll in Child's
Right.
Play 2, and not just this doll where, to act afraid of a doll is a little bit of a challenge, but to act afraid of how Brad looked in the first film in the beginning,
Yeah.
and to think that this guy connected with me and manipulated me
Yeah.
into trusting him, and then he killed my Aunt Maggie. My mother's friend. He tried to kill me. He tried to kill my
Your
mother.
mother. Yeah.
And now my mother's locked up because of him. So I feel like Andy in Child's Play 2 never really expected things to get better for him.
You could tell.
And then he's in this foster home, and the truth is Jenny Agutter and Garrett Graham were not very close with me. It wasn't like Chris and Catherine from the first film.
Mm-hmm.
They were actors and they were involved in this thing, and they were kind of distant from me.
Mm-hmm.
And that worked really well because I don't think Andy connected with them at all.
Right. And I mean, he's just thrown into this house.
He tried, but
you know,
it was just, Kyle is the only one that he connected with.
And it fit because, like, they're foster parents. They
Sure.
go through kids, and there's not really a relationship established, especially in the amount of time that things happen in this movie.
Yeah.
The question I did want to ask you is how did you get called, or how were you called for the reprising of the role of Child's Play 2? How long was it after the first film?
No idea.
No.
I don't remember that at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
my mom knows, but she's not with us.
Yeah, because
she's not here.
Okay, I'll have to say that. Yeah, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
I said that. How that sounded.
She's not with us. I was like, oh, geez.
No, she's not with us tonight on this broadcast.
Yeah, I got you.
But no, I don't remember that. I remember being told that I wasn't in part 3. I think it happened.
I'm gonna get to that.
I think it happened over a dinner. Actually, I have a weird flash frame memory of being at a fancy dinner table and finding out that I wasn't going to be in part 3.
How devastated were you, man?
Super. I was 8, 9 years old or whatever. I expected to. There were things moving that was what I thought was going to happen.
Right.
So yeah, I took it. I didn't take it well.
Yeah.
I got over it because I was a kid, but
yeah.
It wasn't. It didn't feel good.
In Child's Play 2, did you said that your father in the film died? Was that ever said in the movie? Did they ever?
There were scenes that were cut out, and there was dialogue that was kind of. There was a conversation that I think we actually shot, if I'm not mistaken, with Catherine and I about. I think, first of all, in the film, it does say something about Daddy in heaven. Chucky was sent from Daddy in heaven to play with me, or something.
There we go. Okay, yeah.
But there was an extension of that. Excuse me, in the form of a conversation that I had with my mother about Daddy being gone, and they actually used. I remember this, a picture of Tom Holland to be my dad.
Oh, really?
And I think he is in the film in like the living room in a picture. But in the scene that we cut, there was like a close up of me laying in the bed looking at this picture of Tom.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think you're sitting in the bed when he's talking to Aunt Maggie about that. Okay. That's right.
Well, same bedroom, same setup, but it was honestly, that's probably accurate. It was probably dialogue that came before the Aunt Maggie was a real bitch conversation. The setup to that, it expanded more on the loss of my father recently.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to take a few questions from the people, and then we're going to get into what you're doing now, right?
I'm just sitting here right now.
Mr. Old School.
I'm going to get a drink and then...
Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, listen, if you would like to get some of our shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees, they are still there, but they will not be there for long. Here's where you can get some of them. Check it out. All right. So we're going to pull up a few questions here while he gets a drink, and we're going to let you ask them. Who do we got? Mike Jones in the back. I'm going to let you do this. We got Mike Jones producing the show. He's going to choose some questions for Mr. Alex Vincent, a.k.a. Andy, a.k.a. the legend. Let's see what people got to ask. And before we do that, can I ask you one more question? Hold on, Mike. Hold on. What did you think of the reboot?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
You didn't? Okay. All right. All right. We got some questions. What do we got, Mike? Ask away, people. Ask away.
Okay. Was it ever discussed having Alex continue the role in Child's Play 3? Yeah, I think it was, but I don't know for what period of time. I remember the disappointment of it was real, so I must have expected it. But yeah, I don't know like exactly how long or what. I mean, the story they ended up writing obviously wouldn't have been for me at 10 years old. So
yeah, you seemed a lot older in that movie.
For sure.
We have, here we go. This is a good one.
Okay. Was that really a factory full of Chucky dolls in part 2? If so, where did they all end up? No. Most of those boxes, like the box I have right there,
yes,
had like a painted on image of the doll. So the camera made it look like they were all filled with dolls, but they weren't. And then in part 1, like the toy store in part 1 had kind of like a plastic frame, like a whatever material that is, frame of it, and the actual clothes on it. That was for the close-up shots. Right. So those weren't full dolls either, but they were like shelled out frames. Oh. And I did get 2 of those. I got one, and I think I gave one to my grandfather.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And then I think it went from my grandfather to my aunt or something like that. And I sold mine and she sold hers.
Yeah. I think, wasn't it on that show, Pawn Stars or whatever? Didn't someone bring one in?
Something, but not, maybe it was that. I don't remember. It wasn't mine.
It looked like the material of a mask for some reason. That's what I thought
something
of.
Like that. I don't remember. I saw that a long time ago, but
okay.
There's stuff out there. For me, like the few things I had, I kind of sold to people for a couple of reasons. Number one, sure, I probably needed the money, but also I'm not going to display that in my house. Like I pulled this box out.
Not like me. No.
I pulled this box out for you guys, but the one Chucky doll that I got, that's the only Chucky thing I ever really wanted, was one of those dolls. So I have him, and yeah, I that's enough for me. I wouldn't have like the wardrobe I wore in a frame, in my living room or anything like that. So I figured with a fan, they would do something like that, and they'd appreciate it more. Yeah. So, yeah.
Now, me on the other hand, okay.
Yeah.
I display as much as possible. All right.
Sure.
So.
Well, that's like me. That's like me with 9 Inch Nails. Like, if you were in that movie, your room would not look like that. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. Listen, if you sell anything else, please DM me first.
I just have the doll.
If you come across something in your basement, maybe an extra doll, hit me up. I'll get it.
I don't have anything like that.
What are you doing now as far as work? What are you doing? As far as
my life?
Yeah.
I mean, acting, I stopped auditioning when I was 12 years old. There were things about the business that I didn't like.
Right.
And as I got older, I realized how expensive it is to audition and take off of work and commit your life to that. And I'm an Italian from North Jersey. I really like bread and pasta and shit. I spent my whole life in the gym. And there were just many reasons why it didn't feel like the right thing for me to do. So in like the late 90s, I guess my late teens, I was into techno when that was cool for a bit before EDM was a thing. Like, it was techno. And I got like Sony Acid Music and programs like that. And I started making that kind of music.
Okay.
And then we'd print it out and work with the DJ friend of mine who would go spin it in the tunnel. And I just enjoyed that process of making music.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm a massive Nine Inch Nails fan, and most people who follow me at all know, because I've seen him 70 times in concert.
Jesus, my God.
But I've been a fan since I'm 12 years old. But Trent's style to music and how he was kind of just a guy who did it all by himself electronically, but brilliantly, just inspired me to music in general a lot. And I wasn't an instrumentalist, but I had experience with the process of digitally making music.
Right.
So that's kind of what inspired me. And then I went to Full Sail in Florida for an audio recording, degree. And then I found that those jobs are kind of like Pope jobs. People don't really give up assistant audio engineer at a popular studio. So it was a hard degree to do something with. But the education was good. So I opened up my own studio in Clearwater back in 2014.
Okay.
And I've just been recording female vocalists, male vocalists, rappers, country guys, solo acoustic guys, done some sound for film for a couple different features. Just any kind of audio work out of my spot in Clearwater, which is AV Productions, like Alex Vincent, but also like
audio video.
Yeah, exactly.
Audio video. Yeah, I saw like videos of your studios. That shit's clean, man.
Thanks, man.
Really, really nice studio.
Appreciate it. It's comfortable. It's laid back. My neighbors there are great. I mean, my neighbor in the complex is the most popular weed dispensary in the area. Nobody gives me a hard time about making music over there. And I've been there for 6 years now. I've worked with maybe 250, 300 artists. It's fun. I mean, it's not the smartest business in the world with all the home studios and shit that's around me. But I'm doing what I enjoy to do. And I do a lot of personal appearances too, and try to be creative where I can. So with the whole COVID thing that pretty much halted, are you going to be doing any of those, like, what are they called? Those digital signings? I don't know how that really even works. I did one virtual kind of show.
Yeah. What do you have to do?
It was like a panel like this where several people tuned in.
Okay.
And then you did like one-on-one 3-minute Skypes with people.
Oh, cool.
I only got a handful of them because it was a very novel, new idea. Small, not much promotion kind of thing. But I thought it was interesting. None of the other ones came around though. So
because I see a lot of like a lot of actors doing that.
I may end up doing something in San Antonio, Texas, the weekend of the 24th of November, but I haven't figured that out yet. But if not, this will be the first October in maybe 18 years that I wasn't at an appearance. Yeah. Like that I wasn't at like 4 appearances in the month, let alone not even one. So
it's definitely that time of the year where you would definitely be doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
It sucks, man.
I did 2 things this year, and both were done smartly and following every guideline we could and being respectful of people's space. And I was very, very comforted and appreciative of the amount of respect that the fans that I saw showed to the situation.
Good.
I mean, I don't want to get on any kind of political rant with you tonight, but the thing about the masks, yes, there are people that are being difficult about it and think for some reason it has something to do with their freedom and whatever they think, where consideration takes a backseat to whatever is driving them at the moment. I am thoroughly impressed and heartwarmed by how many Americans and people in the world are willing to embrace this.
Absolutely.
And are willing to be like, if I'm going in a store, you know what? I'm going to wear a mask.
Yep.
And I saw a post recently, which, already doesn't sound good, right? But I saw a post where someone said, if you put a mask on right before you walk in a store and take it off right when you walk out, you weren't concerned about a virus. You were concerned about other people's opinions of you or something like that. And I think that's just bullshit. I mean, that might be a small piece of the psyche of anyone or whatever. But I think for the most part, the majority of us have embraced what we need to do to think about each other in a situation like this. And whether or not this is, as serious as the media portrays it or whatever, people have lost their lives. It's been tragic for many, many families. And if just putting on a mask is fair to the people around you, obviously it's the right thing to do and it's the fair thing to do. But I'm a little, amidst the muck of negativity, I am a little heartwarmed by the fact that so many people didn't even think twice and are just going along with it.
Absolutely. I mean, we need to come together at this time and really look out for each other, because my father is a 2-time cancer survivor. So if he were to get something like
my
COVID,
mother is as well.
Yeah. And so I wear the mask for him.
Me too.
I may be okay, but for people like him.
And for whoever, I mean, it's not, unfortunately, it's the type of thing that it's not just one connection you have to worry about. It's who do I give it to that gives it to someone? Exactly. And that opens up a lot of people. And I feel like, well, whatever. Let's not get too bogged down on it. But I mean, I do think that, it's important and it's fair and it's
wear a mask. Wear a mask, people. Yeah. Wear a mask, please. Before we go, you actually have your own podcast.
I do.
What is it? And where can people listen to it?
You're good. You're good at this. You set things up like we didn't talk about it earlier, and like it's the first time you ever heard it.
Hey, we got to do what we got to do.
That's what I
pay the bills. We got to pay the bills, man.
That's what I do on my show. I did. I mean, it's just a show that I did like 22 episodes of from my studio. I have a horror guest on every episode. I mean, some good ones: Kane Hodder, Danielle Harris, Miko Hughes, Catherine, Christine Elise, Ed Gale, several others, Felissa Rose, John Dugan. I could keep going. I had a bunch of people on. Almost every episode I had someone on.
That's dope.
And we'd have a nice little phone call conversation about it. In many of the episodes, but not all, I'd have some kind of topic that I was interested in that week and wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And sometimes I sum it up with like my thoughts on the subject. But other times we just bullshit. It was me and like 2 friends from down here that are both kind of funny guys.
Yeah.
And on all the music breaks, I play music that I've recorded or mixed at my studio.
There you go.
And we have live music on every episode. So yeah, I was explaining to you, like I have as many mics as we need running through my board out a stereo out into the live broadcast. So it was a lot to negotiate, which is why I only did, 20 episodes of it so far.
Right.
Producing it and keeping it going and trying to stick to that format of like live music that I've recorded.
That's a lot of work, bro.
Our interview in one show.
That is a lot of work.
Pretty ambitious, but
yeah,
I do think that I have about 22 really good podcasts that have gotten really not much attention at all.
Well, but I think we're going to give it some attention. We're going to give it some attention.
It's called The Final Note, and it's on YouTube. I guess it's on Spotify. Okay. There are ways to find it, but YouTube, they're all on there. Maybe thefinalnote.com still works, but I haven't done the show since like February. But
everybody here, give The Final Note a listen. Once again, he said YouTube, Spotify. I'm sure YouTube everyone mostly goes to.
YouTube, The Final Note, Alex Vincent. It's all audio with the exception of the live music performances, which I posted a video of each of them.
Boom, that's dope. That's dope. Alex, thank you so much. Hang back after we're done because I'm going to talk to you about something. But guys, thank you for tuning in for the Alex.
You're going to give me the real Vegas pick once we get off the line, right?
Yeah. Vinny Vegas is going to hook you up with some info, man. Yeah, I got the numbers for you.
Gotcha.
And but thank you, Alex, for being here with us, dude. I marked the fuck out the whole night. I kept my composure. All right, I remained calm.
Yeah,
but. Dude.
You treated me like I'm a normal person, which I am.
Yes, so, you are a human being.
I am.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But once again, thank you for your time. Everyone that tuned in, thank you. We will tell you what's going on next week on Pounding the Meat, probably Monday-ish.
You asked me if I wanted to be on Pounding the Meat, the podcast, and I didn't know if you were expecting me to go Aaron Carter on you guys or what.
Pounding the Meat. It is what it is, man. Yeah. Thank you, Dyla. I appreciate it, hon. Thank you, Mike. But everyone, keep an eye on Pounding the Meat's Facebook. We will post what the next show is going to be for next Friday, live 8 o'clock. Until then, Mr. Alex Vincent, thank you again.
Thanks so much.
And we will see you all next Friday at 8 o'clock sharp. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.